from Cold Stone Centre. Today I'm going to show you how to use the yarn couching foot set on your Husqvarna Viking embroidery machine. Inside the yarn couching foot set you get a threader, 2 feet with a number 1 and a number 2 on, and they're for different thicknesses of yarn, and 2 arms that are going to go on the back of the machine. The yarn couching foot set comes with 2 arms or 2 guides that guide the yarn, and we're going to place those in the back of the machine. If you have got a Epic or a Ruby 90, you'll need to buy additional arms. For all the other Husqvarna Viking machines, these arms will fit, so they fit underneath the handle. So just lift your handle up, place the guides at the back of the machine, and pop your handle back down. You can use a variety of yarn in the yarn couching foot set, but you just have to be careful that it's not a yarn that's twisted that will then split as it's embroidering. I find that cotton yarns work really well, so that's what I'm going to use today. So I'm just going to place it on the table behind the machine, and I'm going to place the yarn into the arm so it just clicks into place, and then we're going to bring it through the front of the machine. It's important that you bring your yarn through the gap in the machine. Don't bring the yarn round this side, round the outer edge of the machine. You need to bring it through the gap in the machine through here. And then you're going to use the threader. So we're going to take this little threader with a loop of clear wire on it, and we're going to just place the yarn down into the threader like so. And then we're going to decide which foot we're going to put on. So the feet are numbered 1 and 2. The number 1 has got a smaller hole, number 2 has got the bigger hole. So if you've got a thicker yarn, you need to put the number 2 on, thinner yarn number 1. Basically the yarn, when it goes through the foot, should move freely. So if the yarn is getting stuck in the foot, you need to go up to the bigger sized hole. I'm going to use the number 1 today. So I'm going to just take my foot, I'm going to take my threader, and I'm going to place it downwards through the hole and pull the yarn through. So just pull it through. Pull the threader off and put that to one side, and your yarn is now through the foot, so your yarns come down underneath through the foot. We're going to change the foot on the machine, so you'll see that the yarn couching foot looks very similar to your normal embroidery foot. We're going to remove the normal embroidery foot, and we're going to place the yarn couching foot onto the machine. So just click it into place as you do your other feet. Okay, and that's now ready for you to start to sew. Whatever Husqvarna Viking machine you're using, it's important that you make sure you haven't got the centre Q foot selected. So you need to make sure, if you've got the option to select the floating R foot, or if you haven't got that option, just make sure the centre Q foot isn't selected, because you are going to use a floating foot and not the centre foot. The yarn couching foot set comes with one free design, and this is what you can see on the screen now. You can buy additional yarn couching designs from the Husqvarna Viking embroidery library, and you can also create yarn couching designs in the software. Before we start to do our yarn couching design, we just need to make sure we've got plenty of yarn coming off the ball. So just unwind the yarn so that you've got quite a lot on the table at the back, and you'll need to just keep checking on this as you stitch. So you'll just need to keep going back and making sure that you've got plenty of yarn out as it carries on stitching. I've got my hoop on my machine, and I have threaded up with a neutral thread so to go in with my yarn. Now you can use invisible thread if you want to, but I tend just to use a matching thread to my yarn, so I'm using a neutral one today. So I'm just going to hold my thread end, and I'm going to press the stop start button as I would do normally for most embroideries, and you'll hear it just cutting. Pull the thread end out, and you just need to lay this end of the yarn just to one side as it starts to stitch. And what you'll see is, I'm just going to slow the machine down so you can see it. So what you'll see is that the machine is now stitching the yarn into place on the fabric. When your design has finished stitching, you can take the yarn and just cut off, leaving a 2 or 3 inch end to the yarn, and then you can remove your hoop from your machine. And there is your yarn couching design stitched out. With these two ends, you can get a wool needle and just thread that through onto the other side and just pull it through and tie it off. The yarn catching foot set is great for embellishing garments, bags, cushions. Here's one I did on a book cover, and you can see that the yarn was a variegated yarn. So it stitched the yarn on and then it did the embroidery around it. So sometimes the yarn couching designs have got yarn couching and embroidery in them together. So the yarn couching foot set, hope you enjoy using it.